On today's video, we look into a scenario in which the Western Hemisphere unites, which expands from Patagonia, all the way to Greenland, or from Spain to Alaska, which means it's a pretty big area. And I guess its sea borders would probably be claimed to go straight like that. You could claim all the Atlantic Ocean, I think, legitimately. So this is 6% bigger than the Mongol Empire, or 4% bigger than the British Empire, because this takes up 29% of the world. Population exceeds 1 billion, and I guess a big chunk comes from the US, 300 million, Brazil, 200 million, Mexico, 100 million. That's 700 million. And like 30 million here, 50 million there, 30 million there, 30 million, 30 million, 30 million. So basically it adds up to over 1 billion eventually. Obviously, you need to factor in all the countries, which I didn't do. And I don't have accurate populations for different areas, but we know Brazil and America takes up the most. So I'd say the most spoken languages across the Western Hemisphere would probably be Spanish, English, Portuguese, and the few languages there, which I don't know, like Arabic maybe, is in some of those countries, in different languages, so on. With a war breaking out, not with France, with what's left of Spain, which I didn't say NATO was disbanded, because it's not. I decided not to disband any alliances, because I was like, well, this empire's too overpowered. So quickly, France and what's left of Britain joins the war. Germany, Italy, Czechia, Poland. NATO joined the war. Sweden, because they have nothing better to do, they joined NATO. Well, really, because they're about to join, but anyways. And the NATO nations are all forced to join the war, as Article 5 has been declared, except the Western Hemisphere caused this. Also, keep in mind they left NATO. And why did Belarus join this? I'm a bit confused. Maybe they want to get revenge on the US. Nope, that's just a mapping error. Or should I make them join and make it unrealistic? But I'm going to keep it realistic, because why would we make it unrealistic? With the American Army, the Western Hemisphere Army, one of the strongest in the world. I would say stronger than NATO. At this point, because NATO lost a bit of the valuable areas, the only value they have right now is economics in Germany, military in Turkey. Well, then again, Ukraine joined NATO's side, right? Ukraine has a bunch of American weapons, meaning they're probably the strongest nation. They were in this alliance at this point because of how much strength was put into them by the Americans, which is good for them. Well, a stalemate's starting to be achieved. So, through the Mediterranean Sea, they start doing an island sweeping campaign, which they take multiple islands and make a landing in southern Turkey. Arguably the strongest nation at this point will meet its demise. Well, the only problem is it's taking a while, because I would say NATO has more forces at this point in the Americas, with forces arriving in the northern Norway as it's the summer. As the northern front seem going to wait for the end of winter, because fighting in winter is hard, unless they can get far enough south, which they probably won't, because I don't think so. With the winter starting, the focus is mostly on the southern fronts, where it's not very unpleasant. There's still unpleasant stuff, I guess. But as we can see with this, the complete collapse of Bulgaria has happened, which leads to the complete collapse of Romania. Which just means they now start focusing on taking out Italy. Because Italy is one of the strong ones too. With all the strong nations taken out, now to focus on Poland and Ukraine, which are not strong, but not weak. They're pretty strong, though. With Ukraine not ready for the American invasion, never expecting this amount of forces to enter a country, all of NATO starts surrendering over to the Western Hemisphere, which basically makes a new NATO, which is basically a puppet. Let's see how they rearrange Europe. They're not done yet. With them still messing, with them invading all of what's left of Europe. And now they're reorganizing it. With them deciding not to invade Russia, because why would they? Because we know how that went historically, invading Russia. They don't want to take that risk, because they don't. Smart on them, I guess. With the Empire now looking in Europe like Napoleon's Europe. But anyways. And Greater Yugoslavia, which was Montenegro, this area, and that is now fully united into one nation. With Russia making agreements with them, with a big alliance being formed, a defense league including Arabia, North Africa, East Africa, and West Africa, or what's left of it, to liberate the lands from people illegally occupying. With them actually starting a war. And Israel just being like, alright, Iran and Saudi Arabia will work together, yep. After they decided they would invade some of the nations next to them. Going down into East Africa, like I told you. So basically, they launched a holy war, if you could call it that. Anyways, with Israel deciding to trick the nations, because they didn't expect Israel to join against this many forces. But with the Western Hemisphere's sweeping campaign, they quickly take Lagos. With them managing to do that there, because they were ready to invade there. But where they weren't ready to invade includes here. They invade Turkey, the puppet of Turkey, successfully, until the Americans come with sweeping resistance. With them quickly moving the alliance out of Turkey and Morocco, Algeria areas of their empire. With Israel making a big campaign. Because why not? The Western Hemisphere is so strong, nothing can stop it, it seems. I think I may have overpowered it. I assume it had like 10 million troops. But anyways, at max. Might have been my overestimation. And basically, they're succeeding. With Iran being forced to capitulate, Iraq, Syria, Jordan. Kuwait gets taken over. Like, the Middle East turns off the oil, I would say. At this point, would have it off for quite a while. So, like, I would say for quite a while, there's pretty much not going well. Like, I would say. But then again, you realize America and Canada united with Venezuela and Guyana. That seems like a great economy. The nations capitulating eventually, these nations give up after they fall. Ethiopia, on the other hand, doesn't surrender and they leave the war after they kick the Americans away. The Americans don't care, less to invade, I guess. The Western Hemisphere trying to figure out at this point what they should do with the Middle East and Africa. Should they bring back the Ottoman Empire, or should they be cautious what they do? Let's see how they get around this. Europe, they managed to take control over Europe and North Africa and the Middle East. They've taken a big chunk of the world over. And they've made lots of puppets, including North Africa puppet, East Africa, Arabia, Ottoman, yeah. Yep, I called it that. But anyways, Kalmar, Union, Baltica, a weird Germany thing, Polish, Visegrad thing, and then we have Ukraine, Romania, Italy, that doesn't look right, Greece, Albania, Kosovo, and Greater Yugoslavia, which is probably going to fall apart at the same time this Western Hemisphere Empire falls apart. Western Hemisphere Empire also owns Switzerland, and we have the Ethiopia getting all the Horn of Africa because, well, Ethiopia needs a coast. The East African Federation puppets, because there's a lot of people on it, and it is pretty popular. Idea of creating Visegrad is because it's awesome sounding, but Greater Yugoslavia is because Greater Yugoslavia also has Bulgaria. So maybe if they have Bulgaria, they would have actually survived. Maybe. And then we have Ukraine, which is just Ukraine as a puppet. The Kalmar Union used to be a thing, so yeah, make that. And as we can see, Iran as Azerbaijan, which I don't think would be too bad of an idea, because they already have a huge Azeri population, even bigger than what's in Azerbaijan. But that might make an independence movement, which, is it possible to annex something and not get independence movements? Just like, is it possible to have, 30 cultures and no revolution? Maybe. But no independence seekers? Nope. And thank you for watching today's video. That's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out, but not until you subscribe. Bye, guys.